Keep the janitor's child away from the table, Qudsiyah murmured. The pen hovered. The cash glinted. In Arabic, she whispered the trap. Only one person heard it. The girl with the mop. The room is choreographed money. Ryan Rother in a brown suit with his pen uncapped. Servers posted along the wall. Contracts squared like tiles. Cameras are on standby because a 300-mulliber announcement photographs well. Marcus Downing swallows. She'll be quick, ma'am. Just finishing the floor. Ryan doesn't look up. Let them clear. We sign in 3 minutes. Qudsiyah leans toward her aide and switches to Arabic, tone silk thin. He'll sign the decoy. In 45 days, ownership shifts. If there's trouble, blame the translator and the governing law. Her hand settles on the top contract. The other brushes the cash. Across the room, Anna Downing, 12, in a blue sleeveless dress, freezes mid-sweep. The mop bristles hover a breath above the marble. She heard all of it. Before we continue, click subscribe, like this video, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps us bring more captivating stories, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Ryan glances at the Arabic annex like it's ornamental. The English side is what will be quoted to the press. Let's get this closed, he says, pen poised. We're minutes away. Exactly, Qudsiyah replies, English polished, smile serene. In Arabic, still soft. Americans read what flatters them. The rest is the real contract. Anna's pulse thunders in her ears. 3 sentences just redrew a city map. Jobs, pensions, mortgages, 1 million private stakes behind the public number. 300,000. Everyone thinks Anna is part of the furniture, a mop and a ponytail. No one knows she spent 2 years after school at the refugee center downtown learning Arabic from neighbors, practicing dialect drift on late-night news feeds. No one knows she can read the annexes Ryan doesn't see. But she can. She just did. And if this room doesn't hear her in the next 3 minutes, Rother Global won't belong to Rother anymore. The break room is a rectangle of fluorescent light and disinfectant. The mop bucket squeaks as Marcus parks it beside the sink. He's careful with his voice. Anna, we don't get in the middle of these people's business. It's our business if they lose everything. She opens the notebook she keeps in her apron pocket. Columns of Arabic roots, arrows to legal synonyms, a messy sketch of governing law. She speaks a sentence in the same register Qudsiyah used, then translates it clean. Transfer of primary authority occurs automatically after 45 days. Marcus stares like he's seeing a stranger in his daughter's face. How? Community center? Mr. Hamed. News clips. I help parents at school. Her finger taps the page. If he signs, they can strip the assets and fine him for trying to stop it. It's in Annex 4. Baby, there are guards out there. He rubs his knuckles, a man who works with his hands. I can't lose this job. You won't. She lifts her eyes. But they will. Dad, I heard her say the plan. She pulls out her phone, loads a live Arabic broadcast, and translates on the fly. Not just words. The weight, the legal intent, the connective tissue. Marcus's shoulders fold in and then square back up. Pride and fear crash like waves. She doesn't know I understand, Anna says, voice barely above the hum of the soda machine. That's our advantage. Marcus looks at the clock. 2 minutes. We tell someone, Anna says. Him. She points toward the double doors, toward Ryan's signature hand. We could go to HR, Marcus tries, weakly. HR can't stop a pen already in the air. He's still a father. If they throw us out, then we get thrown out telling the truth. She's 12, but the sentence lands like a vow. Marcus exhales, nods once. Stay beside me. I'll talk first. They push the break room door. The brightness of the executive floor hits like noon sun. Cameras are rolling up. A server in black steps aside with a tray of white cups. At the table, Qudsiyah's gaze flows over them like water over stone. Ryan's pen hovers. Mr. Rother, Marcus says, voice steadying. A word about the Arabic annex. Anna squeezes his sleeve, eyes fixed on section 47B peeking from the binder. 3 colors flash through her mind. Red for lie, blue for intel, green for truth. And a plan forms as fast as heartbeat. And now that the door is open, there's no turning back. The door to the executive floor sighed shut behind them, and the world shrank to cinder block and bleach. The janitor's break room was a bright rectangle carved out of the building's ribs. Humming soda machine, metal lockers, a dented microwave, the blue mop bucket parked like a tired animal. Marcus parked the cart by habit, then braced his hands on the stainless sink as if it could tell him what to do. Anna, he said without turning, we don't step into rooms like that, not ever. We already did, she answered. Her voice was calm in a way that made it older. She slid onto the counter, flipped open the canvas notebook she kept in her apron pocket. Pages bloomed with columns of Arabic roots, Farsi postpositions, Turkish suffix chains, arrows linking one to another in pencil gray. And we can't step back out and pretend we don't know. Marcus turned. His eyes landed on the cramped handwriting, on a margin labeled Annex, Governing Law, with a box around the Arabic phrase. You wrote that? I learned it, she said. At the center, after homework. Mr. Hamid taught me Gulf forms. Mrs. Mary did Farsi on Thursdays. Turkish came from the bakery ladies. She smiled briefly. They paid me in simit bread. Anna, he rubbed his jaw. Baby, you're 12. 12 people need those jobs upstairs, she said, nodding toward the ceiling. 1,200, 12,000. Pick a number. It doesn't matter. If he signs, they lose everything. He reached for the notebook like it might disappear. The page edges were softened by use, oil dark at the corners. How long have you been doing this? 2 years, nights, on my phone, in here. She tapped the soda machine. It's loud. Nobody listens. So I could. He swallowed. Pride rose fast, then collided with fear and broke apart. You remember the winter layoffs? He asked. When they said restructuring and meant we don't need the night crew? She nodded. He didn't have to explain the numbers. She remembered the month the rent fell sideways and the fridge hummed emptier. The ones who got cut, Marcus said, staring at the floor tile, were the ones who complained the loudest. That's how the world works when you wear a badge like mine. You speak up. They decide you don't fit. I'm not complaining, Anna said softly. I'm translating. He huffed a thin laugh that wasn't a laugh. That's complaining in a nicer shirt. Anna slid off the counter. Watch. She pulled out her phone, thumbed to a live Arabic news stream. A crawl raced across the bottom of the screen. A suited anchor spoke too quickly for a beginner. Anna listened for 1 sentence, 2, and began speaking over it in English with the same cadence. Not just words, but weight. Cabinet votes. Contract language. An opposition figure reading subclauses into a microphone. Marcus blinked. You're not guessing? No, She rewound 5 seconds and repeated the sentence with the legal qualifier the anchor mumbled. Then she paused the video and wrote it in Arabic, then transliterated it, then underlined the part that mattered. He took the notebook from her and read her neat translation. "You did all this, between trash runs, and on the bus, and before bed, and because it's fun." She grinned at the look he gave her. "Okay, not fun like video games, fun like a lock clicking." The soda machine coughed a can into the spiral. The sound made him jump. He set the notebook down carefully. "If we say something and I lose this job, then we go somewhere that doesn't reward fraud," she said. And they both knew that wasn't how the world worked, and she said it anyway, because truth needed somewhere to stand. She softened it. "Dad, we can be quiet and let them sign, or we can be loud enough that somebody with a pen hears us." He looked at the clock, 8 minutes to the hour. Cameras would be moving into the boardroom by now. The pen would be inked. "Who's somebody?" he asked. "We go to HR. Procedure. That's safe." "HR can't stop a signing ceremony," she said. "Ryan can. Ryan's the last person in this building who wants to hear from us. He will if we make it about facts." She held up the notebook. 2 mismatched definitions. 1 governing law clause hiding in Annex 4. 1 number, 45. I can say it in English. I can say it in Arabic. He'll hear it in whichever one gets his attention. Marcus paced once in the short room, shoulders tight, hands on his hips. He was back on the winter he wanted to flag a broken stair rail, and a manager told him to file a ticket instead. 2 days later, a night clerk slipped and broke her wrist. He had gone home that night and stared at the ceiling, wondering what the price of silence was and what the price of noise would be. Next time. He stopped pacing. "We do this quiet," he said. "We don't make a scene." "Quiet," she agreed. "Fast." He grabbed his badge from the counter and clipped it to his shirt. "We'll go up to HR." "Dad?" She shook her head once. "HR will ask for screenshots, for translations, for forms. Meanwhile, the pen goes down." He scrubbed his face. "So we walk straight at the CEO." "We walk straight at the truth," she said. "He'll be standing next to it either way." Marcus drew in a breath that sounded like he was filling a well. "Stay behind me. Let me speak first." She slid the notebook back into her pocket. "You can. Just, if he doesn't look at the Arabic, I have to make him." "Don't." He started and stopped. "Don't argue with security. Don't run." "I won't." She lifted her pinky. He hooked his without smiling, then did anyway. They pushed out into the service corridor. The air got colder and cleaner, the walls smoother. The elevator bank sat in a brass island at the end of the hall. A security guard in a black shirt and an earpiece stood beside it, bored until he wasn't. "Executive floor is closed right now," the guard said when they approached. "Event in progress." Marcus held up his badge. "Facilities support. We were asked to—" "No additional traffic," the guard said, but kinder than he could have. His eyes cut to Anna. "Sorry, sir." "Orders." "It's important," Marcus said. He didn't push, not yet. "There's a translation error in a contract upstairs." "Then email legal," the guard said. He tapped his wrist as if there were a watch there. "They're about to be on camera." Anna felt the seconds like hot pins. She leaned slightly around her father. "Is Mr. Rother already in the boardroom?" The guard's gaze flicked to the elevator, then to the double doors beyond. "He's on the move," he said before he could stop himself. "Please," Marcus said. "We just need 10 seconds." The guard hesitated. He wore a face that had learned to say no, and a heart that hadn't finished learning it. "I can't let you up," he said finally. "But if you wait at the corridor, they'll walk past." "Thank you," Marcus said. He meant it. They waited. Footsteps and voices began to gather. Press staff clumping like geese, legal pads snapping shut. The polished shuffle of expensive shoes. A set of double doors swung outward, and for a moment, the corridor filled with white light and camera flashes. Rother emerged flanked by two executives and an assistant carrying a portfolio. He had the look of a man rehearsing confidence, eyes forward, pen already in his hand. Marcus stepped into the edge of his path, not blocking, just present. "Mr. Rother," he said, voice low but steady. "Sir, could we have a—" Ryan's eyes flicked toward the maintenance badge, toward the mop bucket parked against the wall. His attention slid. He was already moving on. Anna stepped out from behind her father. "Sir," she said, louder than she'd planned. Her voice cut clean through the corridor. "The Arabic text doesn't match your English contract." Rother's stride faltered. The echo of Anna's voice, small, clear, impossible to ignore, hung in the corridor like a dropped note that refused to fade. "The Arabic text doesn't match your English contract," she'd said. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then the assistant whispered something to Ryan, and the entourage flowed toward a side conference room. "5 minutes," Ryan murmured. "Let's hear what this is about." Marcus's shoulders tensed as he followed, one hand gripping his badge like it was a pass through another world. Anna walked beside him, head high, eyes locked on the glass walls of the conference room that reflected the ceiling lights like interrogation lamps. Inside, the table gleamed with untouched water bottles. Ryan sat at the head, his jaw tightening. "All right," he said, nodding toward Marcus. "You said something about translation." Marcus hesitated. "Sir, my daughter—" Anna stepped forward before he could finish. "Sir, your contract with Ms. Boulos has an Arabic annex that doesn't match the English version. It changes the meaning." Ryan blinked, half startled, half amused. "You're saying there's a translation issue in a $300 million agreement?" "Yes," Anna said simply. The door opened, and a woman in a gray suit entered, a company lawyer. Her ID badge read, "Elena Brooks, General Counsel." Her heels clicked once, announcing the hierarchy in the room. "Mr. Rother," Elena said smoothly, "we've verified every page with certified translators. I can assure you—" Anna interrupted, polite but firm. "You verified a summary." Elena's expression didn't change, but the silence in the room did. "Excuse me?" "The Arabic annex," Anna said, "isn't word for word. It's paraphrased. The summary misses a key phrase." She flipped open her small notebook. "Sharaka muakkad. You translated it as temporary partnership. That's not wrong, but in Gulf commercial law, it means something else. A partnership that lasts until authority is transferred. It's not temporary, it's transitional. There's a difference." Ryan's pen stopped tapping. Elena smiled the way people do when they're trying to handle a fire politely. "Honey, these legal terms are complex. Even professional translators struggle with—" Anna didn't flinch. "That's why I'm explaining it. If he signs, Section 47B gives Boulos full control after 45 days. That's what the clause means." Marcus reached for her arm gently. "Anna?" She shook her head. "Dad, please. He needs to hear it." Elena's tone sharpened. "Mr. Rother, with respect, this is a janitor's child repeating something she overheard. Let's not derail an international partnership on a—" Anna cut in, quiet but devastating. She said in Arabic, He'll sign the decoy, and when they notice, the transfer will be irreversible. The table went still. Even the hum of the air conditioner seemed to pause. Ryan leaned forward. You understood that? Anna nodded. Every word. Elena forced a smile. Arabic dialects vary. Misinterpretations happen. Let's not— I didn't mishear, Anna said, and it wasn't dialect. It was modern standard Arabic. Legal register. She used naql as-sulta, transfer of authority, not nihayat al-ittifaq, end of agreement. That's deliberate. The lawyer blinked. For the first time, she had no preloaded sentence ready. Ryan's eyes narrowed slightly. Elena, bring me the Arabic annex. She hesitated, then tapped her tablet. It's in the system, but the full text is lengthy. We normally review a certified digest. Bring it, Ryan said again, sharper. Minutes later, Elena slid a printout across the table. The Arabic side looked ornamental, elegant calligraphy with neat English summaries beneath. Anna traced a line with her finger. Right here. See that word? Mu'aqt. In this clause, it doesn't expire with time. It expires with transfer. And if you check Section 73C, it triggers automatic control after 45 days unless a counter-annex is filed in Arabic. That clause doesn't exist in your version. Elena's cheeks colored. No one at this table is qualified to interpret. I am, Anna said softly. I learned Arabic at the refugee center. Farsi too. Turkish on weekends. I help families fill out legal forms. That's where I saw this phrasing before. Ryan looked from Anna to the printout, then back. You're saying this could transfer ownership of my company. I'm saying it will, Anna said. Unless you stop it. The silence that followed was colder than the air conditioning. Elena finally exhaled. Even if that's true, Mr. Rother, we're days away from closing. Any delay could tank the stock price. The markets are waiting. Pulling out now sends the wrong signal. Ryan leaned back, the weight of two empires, one financial, one moral, settling on his shoulders. And signing the wrong paper sends a worse one, he said. Elena's voice softened. You need verifiable evidence, Ryan. This girl could be mistaken. And Bulos? She's volatile. We can't confront her without proof. Anna looked up. You don't have to confront her. You can observe her. Ryan frowned. Meaning? Anna hesitated, glancing at her father, then at the tablet glowing in front of the lawyer. She switches between Arabic and English when she lies. I can track that. If I stay in the room, I can flag you quietly whenever she changes details. Elena snorted. You want to make her part of the legal team? Anna met her eyes evenly. No, just your translator who knows what to listen for. Ryan studied her. There was no defiance in her tone, just certainty. You said she used a phrase about irreversible transfer, right? Yes, and another one, Anna added. She said she already had an American contact paid off. Ryan's head jerked up. What did you say? She told her assistant in Arabic, Anna said, that the American contact has been compensated. She laughed. It sounded practiced. Elena froze. That could mean anything. Ryan wasn't convinced. His pen tapped once, then twice, like a metronome counting down something invisible. We have internal leaks under investigation. This, he gestured toward Anna, might connect dots I didn't even know existed. He turned to Marcus. You're her father. You understand what this means? Marcus nodded slowly. Yes, sir. It means she's telling the truth. Ryan nodded once, decision crystallizing. All right, here's what we'll do. He looked at Anna. You sit quietly during the next review. You'll have a tablet. No talking, no translating out loud. If you hear something off, give me a signal. Something simple, unnoticeable. Anna thought for a moment, then smiled faintly. Red for lie. Blue for information, green for truth. Ryan tilted his head. You're sure about this? Yes, she said. She'll talk. I'll listen. Elena opened her mouth to protest, but Ryan was already standing. Set it up, he said. And not a word to Bulos. If there's a trap, we'll spring it ourselves. He turned toward the door, his reflection fractured across the glass wall. Half conviction, half fear. Anna closed her notebook and tucked it under her arm. The word mocked still pulsed in her mind like a secret heartbeat. She didn't know what waited in that boardroom, only that she was walking straight toward it. And this time, the world would have to listen. The boardroom smelled faintly of coffee and new paper. Sterile. Polished. Expensive. Anna sat near the wall, her father's mop bucket parked discreetly beside the door. Her small tablet glowed faintly in her lap, open to a language learning app that no one bothered to question. Her finger hovered over 3 colored circles. Red, blue, green, like a secret code only she and Ryan knew. At the long table, Ryan Rother reviewed his notes while pretending calm. Beside him sat Elena Brooks, face carefully blank, and Derek Hale, VP of Finance, checking market updates on his phone. On the far side of the table, Qudsiyah Bulos re-entered the room, her abaya glinting with gold trim, her expression gracious and lethal all at once. Apologies for the delay, she said smoothly. I hope we are ready to proceed? Ryan gave a practiced smile. Just making sure both language versions are fully aligned. You understand. Her gaze flicked over him, unreadable. Of course. Then, switching to Arabic so swiftly it seemed like a breath change, she murmured to her aide, No Arab lawyer here. Use the archaic Gulf terms. They won't catch the difference. Anna's heart quickened. Without looking up, she tapped her screen once. Blue dot. Intel. Ryan caught it, the tiniest flicker of understanding in his eyes. He adjusted his tie. Before we sign, Ms. Bulos, could we take another look at Section 47B? I want to make sure the translation reflects our full intent. Qudsiyah's lashes lowered briefly. Certainly, she said in English, but the terms are exactly as we discussed. Her aide whispered something in Arabic. The penalty clauses are buried cleanly. They'll never cross-check 73C. Red dot. Ryan's hand paused above the document. Actually, he said casually, I'd like to review 73C as well. The penalties section. Elena glanced at him in surprise. That wasn't on the agenda. It is now. Ryan's voice was polite steel. Qudsiyah's assistant froze. The air tightened. If you wish, Qudsiyah said, still smiling. Though I assure you, there are no surprises there. Anna's eyes scanned her tablet. She drew quickly on the note app, a small clock, with the number 45 written beside it. The meaning pulsed like a heartbeat. Ryan glanced her way, then leaned back in his chair. Miss Bulos, walk me through the timeline again. 45 days, correct? Her eyes flickered. It's a general review period, she said carefully. Anna tapped red again. Ryan tilted his head, tone still pleasant. General or fixed? In Arabic contracts, Qudsiyah replied. Flexibility is implied. It is not precise. That's interesting, Ryan said, his voice now quiet, because precision is exactly what I'm paying for. The VP Finance frowned. What's going on, Ryan? Ryan didn't answer. He looked at Qudsiyah, then back at the Arabic annex. I'd like confirmation from your side that this doesn't transfer any authority during that review window. In the English draft, Qudsiyah said evenly, it does not. Anna's stylus hit the red hair dot again. Ryan's brow lifted. And in the Arabic, a beat. Then, switching back to Arabic, Qudsiyah murmured to her aide, He's stalling. Don't panic. He's fishing. Keep using the older dialect. They won't know it. Anna inhaled sharply. Older dialect. The words that followed were rougher, slower, a blend of Najdi, formalism, and Gulf idioms. But Anna had studied this too. But Hamed's father had taught her how older contracts disguised ownership shifts with poetic phrasing, and she recognized every syllable. If they question the review period, Qudsiyah said softly, cite continuity of guardianship. It sounds noble, but binds them. Anna's stylus flashed. Red. 3 times. Ryan's voice was light, but sharp now. Continuity of guardianship. That's a beautiful phrase. Where did that come from? Qudsiyah blinked. I beg your pardon? In section 47B? He said, tapping the paper. It appears in the Arabic version, doesn't it? The aide stiffened. It's a harmless idiom. Anna pressed. Blue. Ryan's gaze flicked to her briefly, then back to Qudsiyah. Maybe. Or maybe it's a clever way to turn a partnership into permanent control. For the first time, the room's calm veneer cracked. Qudsiyah's tone cooled. Mr. Rother, are you accusing me of deceit? I'm asking for clarity, he said evenly. And perhaps a new translator on record. The air around the table seemed to vibrate. Elena cleared her throat. Let's keep this civil. We can... But Anna wasn't listening to Elena. She was listening to Qudsiyah's aide whisper again, this time barely audible. She's noticing the child. Be careful. Anna's heart skipped. She kept her face blank, her tablet angled slightly toward her lap. Qudsiyah leaned back, her gaze sweeping the room like a tide going out. Her expression softened again, almost friendly. Perhaps we are overcomplicating this. Words, meanings, they shift. Translation is an art, not a science. Anna wanted to scream. That was exactly how lies survived, wrapped in art, varnished by ambiguity. She tapped red. Once more, firm enough that the screen made a soft click. Ryan caught it. Then let's make it science, he said quietly. Every clause in writing, in both languages. The aide's face drained of color. Ryan leaned forward, signing his name with deliberate slowness on the English summary, then capped the pen before touching the Arabic version. We'll finish this after an independent linguistic review, he said. Qudsiyah's polite smile froze. That's unnecessary. We've both built trust here. Anna felt the moment slip. She knew what would come next. Qudsiyah had realized too much. The woman's eyes drifted past Ryan, to the back of the room, to the small figure seated near the wall, tablet in hand, posture too alert for a bored janitor's child. Their gazes met. A silent click, like the lock of a gun. Qudsiyah's voice lowered. Who is that? Ryan turned slightly. She's with facilities. No concern. But Qudsiyah didn't look away. Her smile faded entirely. Remove the child, she said. The words hit the room like a command carved in stone. Elena blinked. Miss Boulos? Qudsiyah rose, her chair scraping the floor. "Now, or I will end this meeting." Anna froze, her hand still hovering above the tablet. Ryan hesitated, calculating risk, optics, the eyes of every executive in the room. But Anna had already caught the next whisper in Arabic. "She's listening. She understands." The realization passed across Qudsiyah's face like a shadow crossing glass. Anna felt her stomach twist. She had been careful, too careful, but not enough. As the guard at the door stepped forward, Ryan lifted a hand to stall him. "Wait," he said quietly, his eyes flicking to Anna. "She's just a kid. Let's finish the page." But the moment had changed. The boardroom's calm was gone. Qudsiyah's mask of diplomacy was gone. Anna lowered her eyes to her tablet. The puy red dot still glowed, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat in the dark. And she knew, whatever came next, she was the target now. The tension in the boardroom had turned into a living thing. It moved between people like a shadow that breathed. Qudsiyah Boulos stood poised near the end of the table, her dark eyes hard as cut glass. "Remove the child," she said again, quieter this time, but it carried the same authority as before. Before anyone could respond, a voice cut in. Measured, calm. "Hold on." It was Derek Hale, the VP of Finance, Rother Global's longest-standing executive. His expression was unreadable, but his gaze flicked to Anna, briefly, almost too quick to notice. "She's just sitting there," Derek said lightly. "If this makes the client uncomfortable, maybe she can move to the corner. No need to cause a scene." Ryan gave a short nod, relief flashing behind his composed face. "Fine. The child stays seated. No disruptions." Qudsiyah's lips tightened, but she forced a smile and returned to her chair. The surface calm was back, though everyone in the room could feel the undertow. Anna adjusted her position, pretending to study her tablet's learning app. Her fingers trembled slightly. She didn't miss the look Derek had given her, more warning than defense. Minutes later, as papers shuffled and polite murmurs resumed, Anna caught a whisper. Derek's voice, low and urgent, angled toward Qudsiyah's aide. "Offshore's ready. Transfer clears as soon as signatures hit." Her breath stopped. She didn't look up, just tapped her tablet's mic icon. The red light blinked to life, recording. Then, pretending to doodle, she typed quick English subtitles beneath each phrase she overheard in Arabic. "Payment confirmed. Half-wired to Belize account. The girl suspects. Finish now." She saved the file, muted the screen brightness, and pressed the tablet flat against her leg. Across the room, Marcus stood near the coffee station, arms folded, trying to look like part of the background. Every muscle in his jaw was clenched tight. When a junior staffer moved to escort Anna out, Marcus stepped in. "Company policy says all facilities personnel remain until post-meeting cleanup," he said evenly. "She's under my supervision." The guard hesitated. Ryan didn't look away from Qudsiyah, but his voice carried. "That's correct. They're cleared to stay. No policy violation." That bought them 10 minutes, maybe less. Ryan flipped through his notes, the lines of his face sharpening. "Ms. Brooks," he said, addressing Elena, "if the Arabic clause transfers control, hypothetically, who signed off on that draft?" Elena shifted in her chair. Sir, that would have been routed through finance for final language clearance." Ryan turned to Derek. "Then that means you saw it?" Derek smiled faintly, unbothered. "Ryan, we rely on certified translators and the international legal team. None of us speak Arabic." Anna could almost hear his unspoken, and none of us trust Janitor's kids to interpret it. Ryan tapped his pen against the table. So if she's right, there's a $500 million hole in our due diligence. Elena opened her mouth, then shut it again. Silence bloomed. The moral weight in the room hung like fog, thick, inescapable. Ryan's tone was quieter now, dangerous in its restraint. If she's right, he repeated. Who signed off? No one answered. The silence itself was an answer. Anna's eyes moved across the faces in the room. The lawyer, the VP, the aide. Then her gaze returned to Qudsiyah, who looked perfectly calm. Too calm. A strange courage rose in Anna's chest. Maybe it was anger. Maybe something more. Ryan stood, pacing slightly. I want everyone in this room listening, he said. If there's a translation gap, we find it now. He reached for the document again, tracing a line. Section 73C, he said. In English, it reads, penalties for noncompliance shall be mutual and proportionate. In Arabic? Qudsiyah smiled sweetly. Identical. Anna didn't hesitate. That's a lie. The room turned to her. Ryan didn't scold her. Explain. In Arabic, she said, voice steady, the clause says, penalties for the foreign party shall be enforceable under governing jurisdiction. It's not mutual. It's targeted. Derek shifted uncomfortably. That's a linguistic nuance. Anna shook her head. No, sir. It's intent. The air pulsed. Qudsiyah leaned forward, her tone sugar-coated. My dear, perhaps you misread. Legal Arabic is not a child's game of flashcards. Anna looked her straight in the eye. No, ma'am, it's not. It's about power. And you used it to hide one sentence that changes everything. A murmur ran through the executives. Ryan raised an eyebrow. She's confident, Ms. Boulos. Perhaps we test her. Qudsiyah smiled thinly. As you wish. She switched languages again, rattling off a string of polished Arabic, legal idioms wrapped in metaphor. It ended with a flourish about the honor of foreign partners preserved under Article 9. Anna waited until the silence settled, then translated smoothly. You said, foreign partners retain honor, but not authority, once guardianship is confirmed. A sound escaped Elena, a sharp inhale. Ryan looked between them. She's flawless, he said quietly, better than anyone we've paid. Qudsiyah's mask didn't slip, but her jaw tightened. Marcus looked at his daughter, half terrified, half in awe. The VP tried to break the tension with a laugh. Well, looks like we've got our own prodigy on payroll. Anna didn't smile. You should hire more people who listen. For a moment, no one breathed. Ryan sat down again, staring at the contract like it was a live explosive. We're too close to pull out cleanly, he muttered. If we delay, markets will tank. If we sign wrong, we lose everything. Elena folded her arms. Then maybe we renegotiate the Arabic clauses before signature. That won't work, Derek said quietly. Our foreign partners will assume mistrust. Deals like this, if you pause mid-signing, you lose leverage. Ryan's jaw flexed. So we lose either way. No, Anna said softly. You lose if you stop listening. Elena blinked. Excuse me? Anna pointed at a footnote on the draft. The Latin phrase you used in the preamble. Bona fide concordia, good faith agreement. You translated it wrong in English. Elena frowned. That's a standard expression. It's incomplete, Anna said gently. The full version means agreement reached in good faith through equal understanding. You left out the last part. That's why this keeps happening. You all think understanding is optional." A stunned quiet filled the room. Ryan looked at her, something like shame and pride crossing his face at once. "Equal understanding," he repeated. "Right." Qudsiyah clapped her hands once, softly. The sound was sharp as a whip. "Beautiful speech," she said. "Now, let's finish this charade." She reached into her briefcase and slid a fresh set of documents across the table, the pages crisp, ink still gleaming. "Final version," she said, voice honeyed and final. "Non-negotiable. We sign now." Her eyes flicked to Derek, who gave the smallest nod. Anna's heart pounded. Her tablet vibrated with the faint hum of the recording still running, the whisper about the offshore payout captured, waiting. She met her father's gaze, then Ryan's. No one spoke. The room was about to explode, and they all knew it. The air in the boardroom felt heavier than before, a strange blend of perfume, ink, and fear. The walls, glass and steel, mirrored everything. The flash of cameras outside, the silver trays of coffee, carried in by silent servers, the restless shuffle of men and women trying to look composed while their futures hung over a signature. At the head of the table sat Ryan Rother, posture rigid, jaw tight. Beside him, the stack of cash gleamed under the lights. Qudsiyah Bulos's good faith collateral. To the watching press, it was just theater, proof of confidence. To Anna, it looked more like bait laid over a trap. Marcus stood near the service entrance, pretending to polish the brass handles. His eyes never left his daughter. Anna sat on a narrow side chair, tablet in her lap, pretending to sketch. Her stomach churned, but her fingers didn't tremble. Qudsiyah's voice broke the stillness. "Shall we proceed?" she asked, smooth as oil. Ryan nodded. "Proceed." The room straightened. The legal counsel flipped the pages. Cameras began to hum to life behind the glass wall, journalists and photographers angling for a clean shot of the signing. Qudsiyah's assistant slid the documents toward Ryan. The English version sat neatly on top. The Arabic annex was placed just beneath it, face down. Ryan adjusted his pen, the nib glinting under the fluorescent light. Across from him, Qudsiyah turned slightly toward her aide and murmured in Arabic, her voice just above a whisper, "If they hesitate, remind them the courts will defer to the Arabic governing law in Annex 4. Blame the translator. Always blame the translator." Anna's pulse thudded in her ears. She looked up slowly. Then she spoke, in the same Arabic dialect, every syllable exact. "You mean, you'll blame the translator and force the governing law to Annex 4, the one that gives you permanent control." The pen in Ryan's hand froze mid-air. The room went completely silent. Qudsiyah's head snapped toward Anna. For the first time, her composure cracked. "What did you say?" Ryan's voice came low and measured. "She said what you just said." Elena Brooks, the general counsel, blinked. "Sir?" Ryan's gaze never left Qudsiyah. "She just translated your Arabic, word for word, in real time." Qudsiyah's tone iced over. "This child doesn't understand." But Anna stood now, trembling slightly, the tablet still glowing in her hands. "I do. You said the courts will defer to Arabic governing law. You hid the clause inside Annex 4. Ryan leaned forward. "Annex 4? Elena fumbled through the pile. "There's no Annex 4 listed in this draft," Anna pointed, "because it's merged with Annex 3. Look." She flipped the page, her finger tracing the Arabic paragraph. "This line, governing jurisdiction, has a secondary clause right after it. It's tiny, but it changes everything. Ryan turned the document toward himself. Anna translated as she went. Temporary partnership means until transfer of primary authority. Review period of 45 days means accelerated control for the local partner. Mutual penalty hides a $150 million liquidated damages clause if Americans resist compliance. Her voice grew steadier with each word. She tapped the paragraph again. And this last one, jurisdiction continuity, means if they challenge it, the case jumps between Dubai and Cairo courts until it dies. No ruling, no appeal. A buried loop. Elena's face drained of color. Oh, God. Ryan's pen fell to the table with a metallic tap. Is all this accurate? Yes, sir, Anna said. Word for word. Derek Hale, the VP of Finance, shifted in his seat, his throat tight. That's absurd. No legitimate partner would. Ryan's voice snapped. Then why hide it? Qudsiyah's tone returned, cool and dangerous. Mr. Rother, I don't appreciate your reliance on a janitor's daughter for legal counsel. Ryan's glare could have cut glass. Right now, she's the only one giving me the truth. A murmur rippled across the table. The press outside pressed closer to the glass, unaware of the fire building inside. Anna laid both the Arabic and English copies side by side. You can see it yourself. The English version ends here, mutual compliance. But in Arabic, there's one more line. That line changes ownership after 45 days. Qudsiyah straightened, mask slipping back into place. Do you have any idea what you're implying? Yes, Ryan said, that you planned to steal this company in 6 weeks and bankrupt everyone who helped build it. Her smile flickered, then froze entirely. Across the room, Derek stood suddenly, voice sharp. Ryan, maybe we should… But Anna had heard it, the same note she'd caught before. Fear. Guilt. She turned toward him, eyes narrowing. You knew, she said quietly. Derek froze. Excuse me? You knew about the offshore payout. You told her aide, transfer clears once the signatures hit. Ryan's head snapped up. What did she just say? Anna lifted her tablet. I recorded it. The color drained from Derek's face. You… What? Half-wired to a Belize account, Anna said softly. You confirmed it yourself. The room erupted, Elena swearing under her breath, Ryan shouting for security. 2 guards appeared at the doorway as Derek moved backward, palms up. It's not what you think, he stammered. But Anna wasn't looking at him anymore. Her eyes were locked on Qudsiyah. The woman's serenity had curdled into something predatory. She stood slowly, pushing her chair back. You have no idea what you've done, little girl. Ryan barked, Sit down, Ms. Boulos. But Qudsiyah's aide was already moving, slipping a thin folder toward her. Inside, fresh papers, clean of any marks. Anna's eyes caught the motion. There, she said. She's replacing the annex. Stop him, Ryan ordered. The aide lunged toward the table, trying to snatch the Arabic pages. One of the security guards intercepted him. But Derek, desperate now, reached in the same instant. The stack of contracts scattered, paper slicing the air like white knives. Chaos exploded. Chairs scraped. Cameras flashed through the glass as though someone had triggered a storm. Anna dove for the fallen page, gripping it tight before Derek's hand could grab it. He caught her wrist instead. Give that to me, he hissed. Marcus was across the room in seconds. Get your hands off my daughter! Security pulled Derek back, the man's face slick with panic. Ryan stepped forward, voice booming over the chaos. "Lock this room down!" The guards closed the doors. Outside, the press pounded on the glass, flashes still firing. Anna rose, the paper clutched in her small hand. Her voice trembled, but it carried. "Here's the truth," she said. "It's right here, in writing." Ryan took the page, scanning it, his face hardening with every line. Then he looked up, fury replacing disbelief. "You were right," he said to Anna. "Every single word." Across the table, Qudsiyah's mask was gone. Only silence and calculation remained. She whispered, barely audible, "You've just signed your company's death warrant, Mr. Rother." Ryan stared her down. "No, I just tore up yours." The guards moved in, collecting the scattered documents. Anna sank back into her chair, breath shaking. Her tablet screen was still recording, the Arabic words glowing in captions beneath her quiet voice. For the first time since the meeting began, everyone in the room understood exactly what they were hearing. And for the first time, Anna realized the truth was no longer a secret. It was a weapon. "Lock the doors," Ryan said, voice flat as steel. "Nobody leaves." Security sealed the glass panels. The flashes outside turned the room into a light box. Papers lay scattered like fallen birds. In the center of it all, the Arabic annex glowed under the table lamps, the words that had nearly rewritten an empire. Ryan pointed at Elena. "Image everything. Now." Elena snapped out of shock. "You, scanner?" "Here." Two paralegals rushed in a portable flatbed and a phone frame imager. They began feeding pages, English, Arabic, the fresh set Qudsiyah had produced, one after another. Each page pinged into a secure case file. Anna watched the thumbnails populate like proof assembling itself. "Counsel," Ryan said without looking up, "you listen to the girl, line by line." Elena pulled a chair beside Anna, a legal pad trembling in her hand. "Start." Anna set her tablet between them and pressed play. Her own voice whispered from earlier, soft, steady, relentless, while English subtitles she'd typed scrolled beneath. "Temporary partnership equals until transfer of primary authority. Review period equals 45 days accelerated control." The mic had caught the aide, too. "If they balk, blame the translator." And Qudsiyah's smooth whisper, "Courts defer to Arabic governing law in Annex 4. Elena's pen stopped shaking. She began writing clean, fast, like a clerk taking dictation from a judge. Across the table, Derek Hale sat rigid between two guards, color drained from his face. He made a move to stand, and the guard's hand settled on his shoulder with a quiet finality. Outside, the press kept flashing like distant lightning. Qudsiyah found her composure again, refastened it like a veil. "Mr. Rother, you are interpreting negotiation as treachery." Her tone was low, persuasive, carefully human. "International joint ventures require clear guardianship. We only seek efficient governance." Anna didn't look up. "Play the next clip." The recording jumped. Qudsiyah's voice, captured clean. "Americans never read the Arabic side." The words landed like a gavel. No one spoke. Elena underlined the sentence twice and wrote, "Admission of intent." "Efficient governance," Ryan repeated, eyes flat. "By stealing my company in 6 weeks." "Steal?" Qudsiyah's smile was gentle, almost pitying. "You mistake cultural phrasing for malice. I said what every partner says offshore. Structure matters. If a translator fails, is that my crime?" Anna's finger hovered over pause. You didn't plan to fail a translator. You planned to weaponize one. Elena nodded, grim. She's right. Behind Anna, Marcus stood with both hands gripping the back of her chair. He was shaking, but he stood tall anyway. The way people do when they stop choosing between fear and love. She could feel the warmth of him through the metal frame. Ryan turned to Qudsiyah, who had arrived in black polos with rolling cases. Pull corporate mail and message logs for finance and legal related to this deal. Keywords: Annex, Governing Law, 45 days, Continuity of Guardianship, Penalty, Liquidated Damages, and any offshore references. Now, the IT lead nodded, fingers already flying. Copying local caches. Give us 3. Derek tried again. Ryan, you can't. These are confidential. These are mine, Ryan said without looking at him. Anna rewound the earlier whisper and read it aloud, eyes on Derek. Half-wired to Belize once signatures hit. Your words. That's not... He swallowed. You're mishearing. Say it again, Anna said quietly, rewinding. The room listened to Derek's own voice. Then to the rustle of the aide's reply. Finish now. Derek's eyes darted to the door, to Qudsiyah, to Ryan. No exits opened. The IT lead looked up, pulled a draft from finance labeled Side Understanding. He tapped the screen. A small email filled the monitor, flagged low priority. From Derek Hale. To Personal External. Subject: Belize confirmation. 2 lines in the body. Numbers. A date. The phrase, post-signature. Elena exhaled like she'd been punched. Ryan stared at the screen, then back at Derek with something close to grief. I built this company with people I trusted, he said. You ate at my table. Derek's mouth opened, closed. Whatever explanation he had wouldn't stand up in this light. Ryan straightened. Ms. Brooks. Draft of formal notice. Signing cancelled, pending investigation into attempted fraud and internal misconduct. CC our board, outside counsel, and regulators. Elena's pen was steady now. SEC, DOJ, State, AG, all of them, Ryan said. Anna saw Qudsiyah's eyes flick toward the cameras, toward the story already forming on headlines. For the first time, genuine fury flashed through her calm. You will regret this show, she said in English. The softness gone. Ryan met her stare. Better a show than a funeral. He turned to the glass and signaled to the comms team still hovering outside. The doors opened a crack. A PR manager leaned in. Ryan didn't lower his voice. Statement in 10. Rother Global suspends signing after discovering material translation discrepancies and potential fraud. Documents preserved. Authorities notified. We applaud the vigilance of staff who raised concerns. He paused. Spell vigilance in caps if you have to. The manager nodded, vanished. Elena slid a fresh page to Anna. One more pass, she said, not as a test, as respect. Guardianship clause. Read it clean. Anna did, slowly, each word exact, each comma a hook pulled from a wound. When she finished, Elena capped her pen. We would have missed it, she said to Ryan. All of us. For a moment, the room was very small. A CEO, a lawyer, a child, a father. Everything else, the cameras, the cash, the polished table, blurred to background. Anna looked up at Marcus. He didn't speak. He just nodded once, the kind of nod that says, I see you. Security stepped closer to Derek. The IT lead handed Ryan a printout of the offshore email. Ryan stared at it like it was a photograph from a life he didn't want to remember. Then he turned back to Qudsiyah. This is over. She lifted her chin. You think you can call regulators and survive the day? Ryan's smile didn't reach his eyes. I think I can survive the truth. He looked to the doors. Open them. The panels unlatched. The press surged. Flash, flash, flash. Ryan didn't flinch. Due to troubling language discrepancies, he said to the lenses, we are canceling today's signing and referring all materials to the proper authorities. Any inconvenience is outweighed by integrity. He didn't mention Anna by name, just glanced toward the back of the room, and in that glance there was acknowledgement and gratitude, and something like hope. Reporters shouted. Microphones stretched. Comms shut the doors again. The thunder outside dimmed. Inside, the stillness returned. Denser now, but clean. Qudsiyah turned to Anna, the diamond-hard quiet in her face, replaced by something ancient and proud. She stepped closer, each footfall precise. Do you know who I am? She asked softly. Anna stood from her chair. She didn't step back. Yes, she said. You're the woman who thought a janitor's daughter couldn't read. The next morning, the city's headlines told the story better than any press release could. Chapter 12-year-old janitor's daughter saves Rother Global from 300 bundler fraud. The girl who heard what no one else could. Corporate giant thwarted by child linguist. Every network replayed the footage. Ryan Rother's public statement, the blurred image of Anna standing near her father. The moment Qudsiyah was escorted out of the boardroom by investigators in charcoal suits. By noon, Qudsiyah was in federal custody, her diplomatic immunity suspended pending an international fraud inquiry. Derek Hale was escorted from the building, his ID badge deactivated, his office sealed for forensic audit. And somewhere in a quiet HR conference room, Marcus Downing sat across from the head of personnel, signing a promotion form with hands that still shook. Facilities Safety Lead, the title read. Twice his old pay. Twice the respect. When he walked back into the janitorial wing, every cleaner, clerk, and maintenance worker stood. Some clapped. One whispered, "You raised a miracle." But Marcus just smiled faintly. "No," he said. "Just a listener." By the end of the week, the storm had softened into change. The board had voted unanimously to fund the Rother Language Integrity Initiative, a scholarship and auditing program for multilingual youth. And at the center of that initiative, standing barely tall enough to see over the podium, was Anna Downing. Ryan stood behind her as she adjusted the microphone. Hi," she said shyly, and the room filled with soft laughter. "I used to think words were just sounds," she began. "But words decide everything. Who owns what? Who wins? Who gets believed? Sometimes they hide things. Sometimes they save people." She looked toward her father in the front row. "My dad taught me to clean up after messes. I guess this time, the mess was just bigger." The audience, staff, press, even security, broke into applause. Ryan leaned down. "Well said," he murmured. 2 weeks later, the same boardroom looked different. The tension that once coated the air had lifted. There were still contracts, pens, and laptops, but also laughter, coffee rings, and something like trust. Anna sat cross-legged at the end of the table, tablet open. A small circle had gathered. Ryan. Elena. A few younger staff, even 2 interns from finance. "Okay," Anna said, holding up a notepad. "Today's phrase: trust, but verify. In Arabic, that's thika, walakin ta'akad." Ryan tried repeating it. His pronunciation mangled the k. Anna giggled. "You just said laughter, but verify." Everyone laughed, even Elena. "I'll take laughter over lawsuits any day," she said. The lesson went on, snippets of Arabic, Farsi, Swahili. A few words at a time. No one seemed to notice the clock. For the first time in years, the boardroom wasn't a battlefield. It was a classroom. Afterward, Ryan handed Anna a small envelope. Inside was a letter on Rother global letterhead, and a check folded neatly behind it. Rother Global Holdings. Youth Linguistic Consultant, Advisory Role. Stipend $15,000 annually. Includes full academic scholarship and funding for the Community Translators Program, Bronx Chapter. Anna's eyes went wide. "Sir, I can't—" Ryan shook his head. "You already did more for this company than any executive ever has." Marcus stood a few steps away, pride and disbelief mingling on his face. "I don't even know what to say," he whispered. "Say she earned it," Ryan replied simply. "Every cent." Later that afternoon, Anna returned to the now empty boardroom to collect her tablet. The air smelled faintly of lemon polish and fresh ink. She paused by the main table, the same one where it had all happened. The cash stack from that night had been logged as evidence, but a faint square mark still showed where it once sat. The table's center still had the scratch where Derek's cufflink had caught during his lunge for the annex. Beside the stack of new papers lay a single eye pen, capped neatly, resting over a contract that was unsigned. Ryan had left it there on purpose. Anna smiled. She placed her hand lightly on the paper. The contract read, in 2 languages now, English and Arabic, side by side. Section 47B, Section 73C, no tricks, no hidden loops. At the bottom of the page, a note printed in small italics. "This document remains unsigned until verified in both languages." Marcus appeared in the doorway, jacket over his arm. "You ready, kiddo?" "Almost," Anna said softly. She picked up her tablet, turned it on. The app she had once used to mark lies and truths now glowed in soft colors, red, blue, green, but not for warnings anymore. Now they marked lessons. "Hey, Dad? Yeah? Do you think people will ever stop underestimating each other?" Marcus smiled. "I think they will when more folks start listening like you do." She nodded, thoughtful. Then she looked back at the pen, still resting on the table's edge. The same pen that had almost destroyed everything, now harmless, waiting for honesty to make it move. The lights dimmed automatically as they left, casting long shadows across the conference room. The reflections in the glass caught the contract's open pages, Arabic and English balanced perfectly, side by side. The last thing visible before the door shut was that single pen, motionless, silver against the polished wood. And above the silence, Anna's final words lingered, not to anyone, but to herself, because understanding is the only signature that matters.